My friends, I've got some fun news to talk about, so buckle up and let's ride together. No Pokemon Presents this month has presented an interesting conundrum, but maybe that problem has been solved by the legendary Ishihara himself. Let me know in the comments down below what you think is going down after you hear today's news, and we also have some interesting stuff to talk about in terms of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom updates, as well as a new indie that I think you should keep your eyes on. But first, and most importantly, there wasn't a Pokemon Presents this month, at least not yet, and it doesn't seem like one is going to be happening. Why would they skip it? Well, there's a number of reasons, but most obviously, they just don't have a lot of stuff. They don't have a new Pokemon Legends ZA trailer to show off. They don't have a new Pokemon game to show off. They just don't have a presentation. But then all of that is called into question when Ishihara himself, Pokemon legend, gets up there at the Pokemon Trading Card World Championships and says, "I'll see y'all Sunday evening." He's got new news on Pokemon games at the closing ceremony, which is very bizarre. This is not a Pokemon games event. This is a Pokemon trading card event. And if anything, we thought we would get a release date for the Pokemon Trading Card Pocket app that has been teased since the Pokemon Presents back in February. Now, people were able to check out the Pocket app at the Pokemon World Championships, but as evidenced by their very own Twitter, they say no release date yet. So the first order of business is like, okay, was Ishihara just like, does he mean the app? Is the app a game? I mean, yes, the app is a game, but I think Pokemon is very specific. I think they're very knowledgeable about what they say, and I think when they say the games, they mean like the Nintendo Switch console video games side of things. They don't necessarily mean the app. The app obviously is a game, but I think he would have specified this. So therefore we know, okay, like it's probably not about the Pocket app. It's probably instead about a video game. And that brings us a couple of options. Option one is a new Pokemon Legends ZA trailer, like actually the first trailer showing this game. We haven't seen it for 6 months. It's due in 2025. That means it is almost cooked in the oven, right? They are well along their way in development. They do probably have plenty to show. The only reason they wouldn't show is if the marketing timeline just isn't ready to sort of like kick into full gear. You know what I mean? Like maybe they're waiting until the Switch 2 is announced. Maybe Nintendo is supposed to show it off themselves. Maybe it's actually a late 2025 title, and so it just is not time to really give that full reveal. But I do think there's still a good chance that a Pokemon Legends ZA trailer is what Mr. Ishihara is bringing to the Sunday evening festivities. And that would be really nifty because we haven't actually seen gameplay, and as an evolution to one of the coolest evolutions to the Pokemon brand that we've seen in forever and maybe even ever, I'm super pumped to see what they can bring to a follow-up to Legends Arceus. Now, the other option though is something that is in reference to what I've been discussing for weeks now, which is that open slot in November where Nintendo loves to have a big seller. They love to have a big game that they can sell on Black Friday for all your shoppers at Walmart, Best Buy, Target, and typically it is a game with a big potential for sales. It's typically a game that really gives you a lot of opportunity to push numbers. Now, currently we have a November game in Mario & Luigi Brothership, and no shade to that, but it's not a huge sales potential type title. It's looking like a crazy cool game. It's awesome that it's here, but it's not looking like the type of game that is going to sell 20 million units. Instead, that would probably be something from Pokemon. We've talked about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon making a comeback. We've talked about Pokken Tournament making a comeback. We've also talked about Pokemon Black and White making a comeback. Now, Nintendo interestingly announced Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team before the World Championships, coming out on Switch Online back on August 9th. Now, this is interesting because it's something that probably would have been at a Pokemon Presents. Alas, it was not. And that's a good indicator that, there is not a Pokemon Presents in August, and maybe they just didn't have enough. But Pokemon, we know, is very proud of their IP. They're very protective of it, and they would probably want to announce anything super cool that they have to say. They've got everybody gathered, they've got eyeballs on them, and Ishihara himself is doing this. To me, if this was something minor, they just throw up a post on Twitter or they throw down the video on YouTube and, hey, we're done. But Ishihara says he'll be back at the closing ceremonies with new Pokemon games news. Is this the time where we see the November game ready to roll for whatever they've got coming out later this year on Switch? It would be really exciting and really perfect, and still would give them 3 solid months to market this thing. Now, in my opinion, any sort of like normal, like major Pokemon game that follows the mainline formula, even if it's not the next generation, probably needs quite a bit of lead up. So I would not get too excited for a Pokemon Black and White type game, but I think it's perfectly possible that Ishihara comes out and announces either a new Mystery Dungeon game or a Pokken Tournament game for this November. Or maybe some other spin-off that I'm not thinking of right now, or maybe some spin-off that is yet to be thought of. Maybe it's something completely brand new. That would be very cool. It would complement Nintendo's calendar very well, and it would be absolutely easy to sell in double-digit millions to the huge, already established Switch audience. The question is, like, if we know Nintendo is supposed to have a Direct soon, would they want to reveal it there? Is there not going to be a Direct? Is Ishihara just going to talk about the Pocket app and he misspoke? How big do we think this is going to be? I personally think there's a pretty good chance that it's substantial. I don't think it's just the Pocket app. Otherwise, I think he would have clarified that or not said anything. I don't think it's like new DLC for Scarlet and Violet or a Terra Raid update or something like that. That's way too small for him to be there at the closing ceremonies. Maybe it's something trading card related coming to Switch. Like, could they bring that Pocket app also to Switch to just enhance accessibility? I don't know. It's very developed for mobile. And we know that Pokemon Company is totally fine making things for mobile like Pokemon Go that do not make a transition over into the console space. And that's probably what happens here. Nonetheless, it's kind of crazy. We know that Pokemon Company can be random. We know that Nintendo can be awkward. So is there something big or is there something small waiting for us Sunday night? Now, Pokemon World Championships are in Hawaii, so we won't find out until late Sunday night Eastern time. They are behind even me on Pacific time, so it's something that probably will pop up Monday morning. But if I'm still awake when Ishihara takes the stage, I will make that video late tomorrow night and bring that information to you. And hopefully we've got a brand new Pokemon game to talk about. That would be super sick and be something that really, like I said, helps cement the fall and the holidays as a great, wonderful Nintendo season. So let me know in the comments down below what you think Ishihara is bringing to the table on Sunday night. Let's get those predictions in and we'll find out very soon. Also, the Japanese Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom website updated its amiibo functionality section, letting us know that you'll be able to get items and clothes off of your little figures. We know Nintendo is reprinting the Link's Awakening amiibo and Wind Waker amiibo, so amiibo functionality was not a question, but what it did was still up in the air. It's going to bring you items and clothes. Nothing game-changing and doesn't seem like anything mechanics-driven, but I do wonder if maybe there's like an exclusive, you know how Zelda can like summon things, bring things into existence? Maybe there's an exclusive wand ability that allows her to summon something from those games. Like, what if she could summon, you know, a Wind Waker from Legend of Zelda Wind Waker? Or what if she could summon Midna from Twilight Princess with those amiibo? It would be pretty crazy and cool. It does say that all the Zelda amiibo are going to work, even from Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess, Smash Bros, any Zelda amiibo. Most likely it'll probably just be like, oh, here's a potion and here's an outfit. But even outfits corresponding to the different entries in the Legend of Zelda franchise will be fun to see. I like getting usage out of my amiibo because I have a ton of them. You probably do too. And it's nice to see them getting some thought, even if it's slightly an afterthought. Last but certainly not least is Telebit, a game that I saw a trailer for and said, dude, I got to bring this to your attention. It's out October 24th. It just showed up for Switch and it looks sick. It's got Major Celeste vibes. It's giving me like Jazz Jackrabbit vibes. It's a bit sassy. It's all about teleporting. It is a 2D platformer. Airtime is something that you are achieving as you navigate these really awesome platformer puzzles and work to stay afloat, kind of Celeste-esque. And I think that's where that comparison is being drawn from, is like staying in the air and moving very effectively and also just like tightly through these environments. Here's hoping the controls are up to the challenge. If the controls are, I could see this game being a winner and an eShop darling in October. If it controls poorly, even the slightest, with a game that's requiring this much timing and this much precision, it's not going to do anything. But let me know what you think is popping up at the Pokemon Sunday closing ceremonies. Let me know if you're excited to get some usage out of your amiibo, flex those action figure muscles, and will you be picking up Telebit? I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. In the meantime, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. SwitchForce out.